We're there. Very good, right on the money. Good evening, is the frequency in use? All righty, this is K4PEW, net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Nothing heard. I don't expect there would be, but if you have an emergency, really call 911 first. You can call us afterwards while you're suffering through waiting for the emergency responders. And the net is available for emergency traffic at any time. For information on the net, you can see us right now on YouTube. On YouTube you can see me. Look up K4PEW, my call on in the search block for YouTube. That's Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey. You'll find me there. Find us there, and you can hear the net as well as see. Well, you don't necessarily see me, but you can see your signal strength. Also, you can see us on our normal website, or abnormal, as you might think. It's 146415.net, 146415.net. You can also look us up on the groups.io site, groups.India Oscar, and look it up under MJSS. Or you can send me an email at k4pew@arrl.net. That was arrl.net, kind of slurred that. The net normally meets at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. We conduct the net, as always, on 146.415 FM Simplex. The purpose of the net is to support and... Well, no, that's nonsense. We're not supporting anybody. We're having fun. And we're having fun and learning to do things better. So we're really, yeah, I guess we're supporting it, but we're also having a lot of fun and increasing antennas and having excuses for spending money on antennas and radios and feed line towers and all kinds of neat stuff. So anyway, let's see, announcements. I have the big announcements of the night, of course, are tonight is the 10-meter net immediately following the 2-meter net. On our check-ins today, as we have been doing for the last handful or 6 or so, because there's so many check-ins, we want to get through them quickly and make sure everybody can check in and then can listen in for whatever. It's on the net here for activities, instructions, entertainment. But by the way, that our lightning round check-ins are as follows. When I go call for east, south, north, or west, as appropriately, you just give your name, your call, your name, and your location, please. Just those 3 things, and we'll be good. We'll save comments for later. You're welcome to jump in after that, because we had like 40 something last time, so it takes a few minutes to get through the check-ins, but you're more than welcome to stick around and chat or throw in your 2 cents or just throw in a criticism or praise, one of the 2. So those things. We also have the net, like I said, the 10-meter net immediately following. There is a 2-meter, there is a 2-meter simplex net on Bowling Green tomorrow night at 7:30. 2 meters. It's on 146. 430, 146.430, and it's at 7:30. 8 o'clock, we've got Wilson County Amateur Radio Club's information net on their repeater, which is 147.105, and plus offset and a 156.7 PL. And are there any other announcements I need to be aware of? All righty, then we'll move on. I think I've got to get my volume up on the thing. I'll have to double check in a second when we start taking check-ins. By the way, this is net number 581. We're starting from the east. If you're looking up at the North Pole, that's to the right of me. I'm sure everybody knows where east is. But anyway, let's see if we can move on here to, we'll start taking check-ins from the east. Remember, we want the call, your name, and your location, please.
Kilo VHF, James in Mount Juliet.
Well, I'm going to have to, James, he actually beat you, Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo. I actually started before you. Okay, Richard, I got Richard from Lebanon in there. That's Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo. And James, I think I heard you in there covering them up. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I just got to get your trigger finger.
Yeah, I know. Zulu Hotel. That's Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. That's James here in Mount Juliet. Who else east?
KE4 TWR Mobile.
Hey, your mobile's coming in good, Wes. That's Wes in Mobile near Watertown, Watertown. Kilo India 4, Tango Whiskey India. Who else east?
For the Charlie Victor uniform.
I got Earl in there. Kilo Echo 4, Delta Echo Zulu over in Noreen, east of the Cedars of Lebanon Park. It was I think Charlie Victor uniform. Was that you?
Yes, there was. Kilo Oscar 4. Here between Mount Juliet and Lebanon on Smith Creek.
Yeah, very good. That's Steve, right?
Yes, sir, did.
Yeah, very good. All right, there was Steve. Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Victor uniform, east. What was that creek again? Was that Spencer Creek?
Yes, sir.
Ah, very good. Yeah, I'm not sure I know where that is, but I think other people do. Who else east? Please come now. By the way, it was Steve, Kilo Oscar 4, Charlie Victor uniform, near Spencer Creek. Who else is east? KM4HQE. Very good, Stan. I got you in there. Hold on before I move on. Let me turn up my volume just a little bit. I mean, I can hear it. I'm not sure that everybody else on the net can hear it. Who else? Who else is the east? All right, I had double or a triple in there, but I think I heard WD for. Oh gosh, give me a call again, Jeff. I got a brain freeze.
WD4BWC, Bravo Whiskey Charlie.
There we go. Sorry about that. Bravo is Whiskey Delta 4, Bravo Whiskey Charlie, and that is Jeff. He's in Lebanon. You have good signal, Jeff. And I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I remember it as a whole block, and I can't. If I don't remember the one part of it, it disappears. Who else is east? Please come now.
V4VF.
Hello, Eddie. Eddie in Gladeville. It's a Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-Ray. He's in Gladeville. Who else is? Anybody else east?
KM4.
Hey, JD, hadn't heard from you in a little bit. Hope everything's going all right. Kilo Mike 4, Quebec, Charlie, Juliet. And he is, I forget exactly where you are.
You can say Gladeville, Lebanon, 109 acres.
Okay, somewhere in the midst here. Gladeville, Lebanon. All right, very good. That's JD, Kilo Mike 4, Quebec, Charlie, Juliet. Anybody else east?
KB4 RSM, Glenn at I-40 and 109.
Yeah, very good, Glenn. I-40 and 109. Kilo Bravo 4 Romeo Sierra Mike. I'll ask you later, but sorry. Tell me about when you get it all finished. Again, Kilo Bravo 4 Romeo Sierra Mike. Who else east? Then please come now.
Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo, Frank in Northwest Mount Juliet.
Very good, Frank. You have a Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo in Northwest Wilson. Who else north?
Lee, KJ4 GMR up here in the Cotton Town.
Hey, very good. We've got Zoe, Kilo Juliet 4 Hotel November Victor, and we've got Kilo Juliet 4 Golf Mike. Is it Kilo? Oh, I can't even read my own writing. That's why I'm stumbling here. It's Kilo Juliet 4 Golf Mike Romeo, and that is that's Ray and Zoe there in Cottontown. Sorry about that. Who else it is? Anyway, let me repeat that again. Kilo Juliet 4 Hotel November Victor, and Kilo Juliet 4 Golf Mike Romeo. All right, I appreciate you and Zoe checking in. Who else north?
WB0NLO, Mark, Northwest Wilson.
Very good. We got Mark in Northwest Wilson up by the weather. November Oscar. Who else north?
Whiskey 4 Delta Tango Charlie, David here in Gallatin.
Hello, David. You're doing good. That's Whiskey 4 Delta Tango Charlie, and he's in Gallatin. Anybody else north? We'll come back if you're listening, but you can't key up. Over to the west, please.
Kilo Oscar 4 Bravo Oscar Oscar. Not Larry hanging out on the lake again tonight.
Ah, very good. I missed you for a couple of nets there, but I'm glad you're doing all right. Kilo Oscar 4 Bravo Oscar Oscar, and it's not Larry over on living on the good life on the water over there in Percy Priest. Who else was west?
KN4 TJF, Rick.
Hey Rick, you're pretty loud. Are you doing something different?
No.
I don't know. It's pretty loud. It sounds trashy, but it's loud. Anyway, that was Juliet Foxtrot over in Ashland City. Who else west?
Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. Delta, Greg, and Pleasant View.
Hey, hold on, Greg. Mike, Kilo Mike Michael, Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. Just tell me later. Is he lying? Did he do something different over there with your brother?
Nope.
Okay, just loud. Greg, what's your call again? I forgot it.
Kilo Bravo 9 Oscar Charlie Delta.
All right, very. Been clinging to that 9 call all these years. Kilo Bravo 9 Oscar Charlie Delta. That's Greg. He's in Pleasant View. Pleasant View, correct?
Yes, sir. Pleasant View, Tennessee, the Grand Metropolis.
Yeah, the cultural center of the universe, I'm sure. Who else is west?
Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-Ray Echo, Chris.
All right, Don. And the Don is November for Don't Juggle Turtles. All right, Don. Got you in there. It's Don in Bonaco. November 4 Delta Juliet Tango. I think I heard, is that Chris in there?
Yep, that was me.
All right, give me a call one more time before I screwed up.
Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-Ray Echo.
All right, there we go. Charlie X. I had it backwards. That's why it screwed me up. I had Charlie Echo X-ray and it didn't look right. And I didn't want to screw it up again. All right, it was Chris. Kilo Golf 4 Charlie X-ray Echo, and he is in Donaldson. Who else is west?
Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo John in Bellevue.
Ah, very good, John. I'm glad you made it. You're often running into the last 20 minutes or so. Good to have you there. Sound good. Who else is west?
Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor Jack and Donaldson.
Very good, Jack. So you have a good signal as well. Donaldson's pretty easy, but still a good signal. Who else west? Then on to the south. Please come down.
N8PPY.
Hello, Rusty. How are you? Hope you're doing well this evening. Good to have you in there. This November 8 Papa Yankee, and Rusty's in Murfreesboro. Got a good signal. Who else south?
Kilo 4 Oscar Fox Oscar Donnie Hermitage First Priest Lakeside.
Yeah, very good, Dottie. I think my hearing's starting to go. It is Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar, isn't it?
Yep.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, it's Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar. Donnie's in Donaldson. I'm sorry, in Hermitage, south of me, just east of Mount Juliet Road. Who is next going south?
K4 IDC 4 Yankee Victor Larry Rockville.
All right, hang on, Larry. I got Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie, and that is what's his face? Robin, south of me. He's down also just down near Donnie, and that's here in technically Hermitage. Tell me, well, I don't know if you didn't upgrade on your. You tell me later. See, Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor Larry is in Rockville, of course. They're still there, aren't you, Larry?
Yeah, man, we're here listening.
Ah, very good. Just want to make sure. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Good signal from Rockville. Who else is south? Anybody else south?
Kilo 4 Uniform Tango Sierra Carl Glayville.
Very good. Kilo 4 Uniform Tango Sierra Carl in Gladeville. Anybody else? Good to have you in there, Carl. Who else is south? I got all 9. Wrapped around the compass. Is there any late check-ins from east, north, or west, or south? Please come in. Well, we did that in kind of record time. Here we are, only 14 minutes or so after the hour, 15 maybe. I did want to, we're having some weird things going on in our society, which everybody knows about, and everybody's, I'm sure, taking precautions. But I was just anxious to find out, because I'm trying to find out for myself what I'm going to do, what chances I'm willing to take on travel. I've got things I really need to do in other places, and I've got to make plans for it. But I'm trying to figure out who in the world is going to be crazy enough to get on an airplane in the next 6 months.
Not I.
Well, there's one negative. You know what I'm getting at is, I mean, the airlines are down like 70% now, and for the obvious reason. Number one, people are being think to get on an airplane. If one person infected gets on, everybody's going to be infected. So I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen with people, including myself, if we have to get something done that's far away, other than just drive. And even that could be, you know, problematic, having to stop for gas and eat restaurants and do all kinds of things. So I'm just interested to know what other people's take is, what they're planning on doing or not planning on doing for the next, well, 12 months.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, before I run down. Yeah, I was going to say that Southwest has been sending me emails with really cheap rates on them, saying that you pay now and fly later. So go ahead and give them the money now to fly at some time in the future when everything returns back to normal. But because you're paying them now, they give you a really reduced rate. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Will prevent you from getting it because they can still get your eyes if you're in a small space.
Right, I missed some of that though. I started, give that first half of that, would you please, again, Eddie?
The smaller spaces that you're in, like if you're in a car or a taxi cab or a small area, a small store, and you know the air is recirculating. If someone has been in there recently, I'd say in the last few days with the virus, more than likely, I would say you're going to get it.
Yeah, no, I think that's the consensus, and I guess it's I'm not sure who's going to be willing to take the chance, because my contention has been, you know, so many hams on this net or otherwise. I don't know what the percentage is, but I think that the vast hams in the United States are over the age of, I'll be kind and say 50. And so, and there's a whole bunch of them that are over 60 like myself, and those are the ones who shouldn't be taking risks. I know, you know what I'm getting at, and some of us have debilitating other health issues that are going to impact them if they get some serious virus. So I'm just interested. I mean, I think most of us are going to be sitting around for the next 12 months without doing a lot of roaming around the country.
Yeah, I'm already getting tired of it. I know everybody else is too, and we're staying in. We pick up our groceries. I'm just trying to be very cautious because I have a lot of underlying issues. And being 71, you know, you got to try to prevent getting it as much as you can.
Right, and Glenn, to your issue, saying now, and the reason that's cool from Southwest is Southwest. I know the other airlines must do it too, but Southwest has always got contracts for gasoline, you know, for their fuel prices. I know they bragged about that one time a couple of years ago when I was flying a lot. They bragged about how they would get contracts for fuel at low prices, and that's the reason they're able to get low prices. But now they're probably buying avgas for $1.50 a gallon, so they can make low prices now.
Yeah, no doubt. I just thought it was interesting. I received at least 2, may have been 3 of those emails, and the ticket prices that I saw, at least on what they sent me, was pretty darn cheap. I didn't read in detail exactly where you could or couldn't go or that kind of thing, but it did seem cheap, and I figured, of course, you know, it's because they are hurting and they're trying to drum up some business, but found it interesting.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just anxious to myself. I'm just interested in knowing, because really, what kind of precautions can you really take? I mean, even the best masks that are available, and even unless you're wearing a gas mask, and I'm not sure that those can filter out viruses per se. I'm not sure. Listen, I saw that one picture. You guys probably did too. One person went into, I guess it was a Walmart wearing a scuba outfit. And another one was wearing a snorkel mask.
Well, quickly from what I've heard, and I hate to say, heard on the internet, but there was a doctor on a YouTube video, and he did explain that generally, and I kind of got the impression he was saying mostly all the time, but for what that's worth, generally you get the virus as it is traveling along on a water molecule. So yes, the virus is tiny and small and can go through a mask, and I mean a mask looks like a chain link fence to a BB to that thing. But the virus, this is what he said, the virus is not floating around by itself. It's on water vapor or water droplets, and that is why the mask does help. And you don't want people coughing, sneezing, that type of thing around you, and that's what the virus is traveling on. That's what I gathered from it.
Yeah, no, I got it. It just, and then that it creates another problem, because even if it does stop it from coming through the mask because it's on a water molecule. It's able to live on the mask for some period of time.
Yeah, true that. That's another thing for sure. Yeah.
So I keep people here. I'm hearing the new byword as they leave. Somebody, they'll say, "Be safe, be safe." And I told my wife, I said, "No, really, it's called stay away."
Before we get.
Do you have anything else for me, Eddie?
Yeah, I heard that the virus is like 2 microns in size. N95 will stop a 6 micron or larger. I think the N100 will stop it, but it's just then the risk of getting it in your eyes. It's I think the smaller the spaces where a lot of people have been, the more scarier it can get.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is that we're kind of dependent upon listening to the reports to say, because if they open up states for travel, for instance, I think Wilson is releasing, not Wilson, but the state of Tennessee is saying April 30th is going to be, they're going to hold it. So does that mean, I don't know what it means, quite honestly, but there's going to be a lot of people reluctant to go to restaurants and to inside fast food joints.
W8IFG.
Hey, how are you? Haven't heard from you in a while. What you up to?
Hey there. Just scanning through and heard the net, so I only tuned in about 5 or 6 minutes ago, but I'll tell you what it's like on the airplanes and in the airports. They're probably the safest place to be right now because there's nobody in them. I've been still traveling. In fact, I've traveled probably every week so far this year, except for 2 or 3. Just came home on a plane tonight where I was one of 6 passengers in a Southwest 737 with 175 seat passengers on that flight. I connected through Las Vegas Airport a couple of weeks ago. There are more pilots and flight attendants walking through the terminal in Las Vegas right now than there are passengers. All the slot machines are shut down and roped off. All the stores are closed. Restaurants are closed. Burger King is pretty much the only thing open in every airport that I've been to, and I'm sick of eating Burger King. But it is it's an eerie view and a sad situation certainly for the travel industry and the airlines, seeing things as deserted as they are. I mean, there's nobody, and I've had no qualms about flying. Some people are wearing masks, some aren't. Flight attendants, some are, some aren't. So that's what it's looked like from my view. Still traveling out in the world for the last month.
Yeah, no, I understand. I've seen the pictures of the airports being empty. By the way, there was Adam Whiskey 8 India Foxtrot Golf, and he is over in Brentwood. Good to have you back on the air here, Adam. And yeah, and I see that it's empty, and I can understand exactly what you're saying. I guess I was going to ask you the same thing about the flight attendants. Are they wearing masks? And you said, well, some are and some ain't. And you go, I don't know whether it's good or bad, because I really see masks as more protection for those of us who are at risk, because somebody who might have it and passing on, they're not going to be able to sneeze as well into my face, or to cough, or to, provide.
And they're taking they've taken precautions to limit interactions between the crew and the passengers. So at least on Southwest, which is all I'm familiar with, that's all I fly. They have at first when the initial restrictions and guidelines started coming down several weeks ago, they suspended all snack services and drink services, except for they would hand you a unopened canned water if you wanted one. Well, pretty soon after that, they even did away with that. So there's no, they're not handing anything out on the planes, water or snack wise. No interaction. They're just walking past you to, do their safety checks on everything. And in fact, they're even restricting the flight attendants that sit side by side and jump seat up in the front galley. They're even separating them. So they're blocking off the front 3 or 4 rows of the cabin to passengers, and having one of the flight attendants sit in the front row, the other flight attendant sit in the front jump seat, and then they're blocking off, I think, the back 3 or 4 rows for the same purpose, for the rear cabin flight attendants. And so they're following the precautions to maintain distancing, but yeah, they certainly it's clear that they don't have any requirement on wearing face masks. Like I said, I think out of my flight crew of 3 flight attendants in one of my planes last night, I noticed one of them had a mask on. I think the other 2 did not. So. But it's a weird world out there. But just trying to do the smart thing and follow the guidelines, but I still got to be out there in it. That's those are my comments. W8IFG. Good to hear you.
Yeah, very good. Did you mean to mess up your picture on QRZ?
No, I don't understand what happened. I looked at it today, and all of a sudden I saw it upside down, and I don't know how that happened. I thought I got hacked or something, and I went into my settings and rotated that picture back around and reset it as the profile, but it will not. It shows as upright in my photo list, but it won't display correctly on the profile. So I I have no idea what's going on.
No, I just thought it was you're having fun or something, but it was upside down. It kind of cracked me up.
Yeah, well, you could. I mean, it kind of fits that way since I'm hanging off the side of a tower. But no, it was not intentional. It was correct when I uploaded it and set it, but something went wonky in their system or on the platform, and I can't get it right. So maybe it'll fix itself someday. W8IFG.
Yeah, that sounds odd. I know what you're saying. Anyway, that was Adam, Whiskey 8 India Foxtrot Golf, and a quick summary would be that airports are pretty slim pickings. There's not very many people there, so it seems like the risks are less at the airports, at least now, given that there's almost nobody. I think he said there was 30, there was 6 people on a flight on a fairly large aircraft, and the 6 people on any of the commercial aircraft would be, nothing. It's hardly, just slightly larger than the crew. I know that GE leases planes, to people. I wasn't even aware they leased planes. I know they leased some other things, but they actually canceled an order to Boeing for, I think it was 69 of those 767s, I think. 69 planes, if you can imagine. Anyway, so anybody else canceling their plans already?
Adam again here. I just got an email from W9BOQ Dennis that said my photo is correct now. So maybe I'll have to log in here and check and see. But is Dennis on the net with you tonight?
I haven't had him check in, but I'm looking at it right now, and it's still not correct. I just refreshed the page. This is what's kind of funny.
I just checked it, and still upside down here. So maybe Dennis is looking at it upside down. Okay, we'll see. We'll get on with the net. W8IFC.
Very good. That's weird though. That it comes in on Dennis's screen, right? So maybe he's got his LCD screen upside down. How can you see it upside down? Dennis, if you're listening, how can you see it right side up if it's upside down on my screen?
You talking about the photo of him on the tower?
Yeah.
I just sent a screenshot to him. He's upside right here.
That's weird because it's upside down to him and me, and I refreshed the page twice.
So we're still in the lake.
Yeah, he's upside down to me.
How is that weird? It's right side up to you, really, Dennis?
You're talking about a picture with water?
Yeah, he just sent me a screenshot, and it shows right. He's not lying.
That's funny. That's a neat little mystery.
There's a reason for that. Curious, Dennis, what browser are you looking at it in?
Chrome?
Yeah, I am too. Okay. Well, I don't know. WE for you.
Hey, Danny, what you had an explanation for that?
I do. There's metadata in the image called EXIF that tells the orientation of which direction the camera was aimed when the image was taken. And some browsers respect that, and some browsers carry on with their own idea.
So Dennis has a disrespectful browser.
Google Chrome is bad about it. Microsoft Edge and Internet Explorer, and then but not every time. And I don't know about like Opera and Safari and some of the others, but that's 9 times out of 10. That's what it is. They're not properly dealing with the metadata.
That's interesting. I didn't even know they bothered with the browsers bothered with that kind of stuff. I don't think I've ever had it happen to me.
I'm using Firefox, and it's upside down.
Is it updated?
Nope.
No, I mean, is Firefox updated? You know, it's always this issue about there's too many what ifs, you know?
Yeah, who knows?
What's his call sign?
Whiskey 8 India Foxtrot Golf.
Okay, he's upside down here too. But the thing about it is if you right click and hit view it, it's right side up. And he looks petrified.
Well, he was holding on with one hand.
Yeah, he's way too far off the ground to be holding on with one hand.
Hey, Adam, I noticed when I open it up in a new tab, it comes up as an image that's about 20 times bigger than the one that's on the screen, on the original screen. I'm just wondering if that made a difference.
If I right click and copy the picture and paste it in the paint, it's upside down.
If I just view the image, it comes in right side up. I open it up in the image in another tab, and it comes in right side up and about 20 times.
So I click on it and blow it up in the same tab, and it's still upside down. Let me try a new tab. Nope, still upside down there in a new tab for me.
W4AWA.
All right, John, get us squared away here.
It's rare, but occasionally, if you use, depending on what viewer or image management program you used on a phone or a laptop to upload it, when you
photo file, on a lot of the photo viewers, you're actually only rotating a preview and not the actual file. And sometimes when you upload it, the end result will be the original file and not the preview. And the way to check is either just open the file that you uploaded in generic photo editor, as long as it's a photo editor, and then you'll see what the actual photo file itself is.
Yeah, it says here it was taken with the Samsung SMG 950U. Exposure time 1/20th of a second, ISO 50 speed, and the f-stop was 1.7.
Hold on.
Load it fresh and see what happens. But it's odd though that something changed because it was fine, and I don't know when something changed. I did not trigger the change because I haven't made any updates to the profile in a few weeks, and all of a sudden I happened to look at it today, and that's the first that I saw that it was inverted. So it's kind of a mystery.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm not sure what using, but sometimes the servers will actually automatically do a sweep every few days and resize photos to make their data stream more efficient. And sometimes when that happens, things like that can inadvertently get flipped.
Okay, I understand. All right. Well, thanks for the information. We'll see if we can get it straightened out. If not, then maybe it'll just be a fun little joke photo. All right, guys. Appreciate it. W8IFT.
I was able to see where it was taken though at Lock 2 Park.
Yeah, we were hanging up a mesh dish last summer, which has since been retrieved since we couldn't a good link to another node. But anyway, that was the project.
Yeah, it's hard to get a link these days. I took mine down for the same reason.
Well, especially when you're next to a river, which is usually the lowest point in your surrounding terrain.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be hard to. I don't know anybody in downtown that even has one. At any rate, no, the picture's a nice picture. It's just you're going to look at least some people are going to see it and go, what the heck is Adam thinking?
Just hanging out, meshing around. W8IFT. Comment.
Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Adam, how much pound? Presently, 50. You got a fantastic signal. See over. Thank you much. Who is this and where are you located? This is Mike, KM4YRF in Northeast Nashville. KM4YRF. Okay, Mike, very good. I'm over here, if you know where Nipper's Corner is, just a couple miles south of there, along Edmondson Pike. I used to manage a apartment complex on Edmondson Pike. It was called Country Place then. I think it's something else now. Okay, not familiar with it, but yeah, great signal from you too. The radio's kind of behind me. Give me one more quick transmission. Yeah, I was over there on Edmondson Pike for about 6 years at that place. Okay, I've got you. You're about. Well, anyway, I just wanted to tell you what a great signal you had.
All right, very good. We got something figured out here on the picture. It was funny though that it was up. It was bright enough not to do that on purpose. Well, not to do it accidentally. I mean, what do we call it? He might have done it on purpose, but I don't think that was his goal. In fact, it wasn't your email on the site, and also to put up a picture if you can on QRZ. And also the other one I always am intrigued by. There's a lot of people who are unwilling to put their age up there. I'm not sure why, but on the detail in your bio, it's often good. Well, in detail on the second page, just to see the birth year. Not that it's critical. I just like to find people that are older than me. Anybody else have any commentary before we move along here?
You're older than dirt. What about the Lebanon Ham Fest?
I don't know. Is there anybody who's familiar with what's going to happen in Lebanon? That's in July, and I'm guessing right now. If I were a guessing man, I'd do it. Nobody from the Lebanon crew from the Wilson Club who has any comment on that?
Bill's still looking at it. Think we're going to try to do it, but nothing final yet.
Yeah, no, I would understand. You can't really make any firm plans at this point, but the way it looks like it's headed, at least from my, from my narrow view here, is that if things go the right way, July will be a great month.
KB9RKK.
Hey, Frank.
Here, Paul.
Hey, who just said that? But Paul.
Playing it by ear. KI4SIB.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's kind of at this point everybody's playing it by ear. Who just jumped in there? Michael.
KB9RKK.
Oh yeah, that's Frank. What's up?
Yeah, rumor mill says that they want to kink it, but I'm trying to talk them out of it.
They just want to throw it out, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, but I'm trying to sway otherwise.
I would be inclined and offer people who want to having tables outside the pavilion.
I don't know. I think we're going to be good by then, and then we'll have a second wave. But yeah, I don't know. It's the end of July. So that's still quite a good ways away. We'll see what happens here in the next few weeks, though. That'll be key. It took us a few months to get to where we're at, so it's going to take a few months to go back to normal, if there is ever going to be an exact, completely back to normal.
I don't know what normal is, because here's the weird part about it. Yes, every state's been paying close attention to these things. I've tried to avoid some of the updates because it doesn't help me at all. I'm staying home anyway. And I don't have to work, and I'm not going to work. So, well, I do working at home, doing a lot of stuff, actually. But when you look at New York City metro area, you throw in just New York City and the two county north, New York City, excuse me, the metro New York is over 40% of the entire nation's cases.
Right. Yeah, and probably every big city's kind of like that. That's why here in Tennessee, it's your major cities that have it.
Right. And it stands to reason. It really does stand to reason, just because of the close proximity, I think, of people. And that's what everybody's really trying to avoid. But New York City, and if you've ever, I'm sure you've been in New York City, if you're riding the train or the subway or the buses, there's no avoiding people. You're gonna be within inches of everybody, and it's no wonder they've got 40% of the cases.
Yeah, if you've been, hearing the news, yes, the cases are going down here, but there's a new hotspot, and it's the Antioch area.
Oh, Antioch is getting a lot of cases, you said?
Yeah, it's the new hotspot. One of the things they're saying is, guess who lives there? Healthcare, some of the healthcare jobs, and some of the customer service stuff that's still open. So, yeah, that's what's starting to happen. The food people, the fast food people, and some of the medical people are now starting to get sick.
Yeah, I guess it's inevitable, but one of the problems is somebody asked, I forget who I was talking to, but they were saying, how come Iran had so many cases? And I said, well, Iran does business with China on a regular basis, so I don't think it's any big mystery there.
Yeah, there's also culture reasons. I mean, my home country's got probably infamous now for how many deaths they have. 10 pages of on one weekend of just obituary. It's also culture. In Italy, you're not going to get them every night after dinner. They're going to go outside and they're all going to talk to each other and they're all going to kiss each other on the cheek. That's just what they do. They're not going to stop, especially the older people.
And plus, they have I think they have a higher group of people over the age of 60. I believe that was part of the demographics there, wasn't it?
Yeah, they have like the second largest population of people in their 60s or above in the world. You know, they have a very old population. The other thing is, traditionally, it's also multi-generational family homes, and you know, that's changing a bit, but still a lot. You know, a lot of people, still 3 generations in a house.
Yeah, I got it. K4PW. You have any late check-ins? Any late check-ins? Please come in.
And Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee Bill. Kilo November 4, Victor Tango Hotel.
Ah, very good. I got Bill. Kilo November Yankee in Murfreesboro. In Kilo November 4, Victor Tango Hotel. And I've forgotten your name and location, please.
Mike, on the backside of Antioch.
Ah, Mike and Antioch. Very good. That's Kilo November 4, Victor Tango Hotel. And of course, Bill in Murfreesboro. Good to hear from you, Bill. Any other late chickens?
And for Victor Charlie Mobile.
And for Victor Charlie Mobile. How are you today?
Doing good. I'm up here in 25.
A little scratchy in there, but you're doing okay, Mobile. I mean, it's in and out, but you're doing fine. And that was November 4, Victor Charlie. I believe that's Al, and he's Mobile. Seems like he's always mobile when I'm talking to him.
That should be better. I was in a bad spot.
All right, very good. That's much better. I don't think everybody can hear you, but you've got to, when you're in a good spot up there in the White House, I can hear you just fine. Yeah, is anybody else, before we move on, we need to move on to the 10-meter net. Does anybody, any other late check-ins, please come in. By the way, we had, I forgot what I said now, on last week, the last net we had, which was, hold on, that was, of course, today's Wednesday, so that was Saturday. We had 43 check-ins on 2 meters and 9 on 2-meter upper sideband. And tonight, Wednesday seems to be a little lower. I think it's because it's in the middle of the week. But even so, it's much. We're doing the numbers of 34 on a regularly, you know, above 30 now on any day, and particularly on the weekdays like on Wednesday. But it's just amazing to me how many people do want to check in and at least hear part of the net or some of the net, or see how they can hear other people in the vicinity. So any other late check-ins? And I do appreciate all you guys for checking in. Anybody else?
KI4SOR.
KI4SOR. You're actually going to get her on the air one of these days, you know. This virtual check-in is not cutting it.
Well, I promise I have her proxy.
I don't even know if she's alive.
Well, if I can bring her away from the computer long enough to, have to take a break from work, well, I'll get her in there.
Yeah, I got it. No, that's all right. Yeah, as long as she knows you're checking in, you're checking her into the crazy men's net here. Any other check-ins? That was Richard, by the way, and that was Richard's wife. Kilo India 4 Sierra Oscar Romeo, and she's just sitting on another computer doing something. Probably on eBay. What I say, eBay, or is that what she's doing?
No, she's at work.
Oh, that's right. That's right. No, don't take her away from work. That'd be a bad thing. Anybody else? Any other late check-ins? Let me do that rather than more commentary. I do want to get into the 10-meter now.
K4WT.
Hey, Steve, I was just thinking about you, and
we don't have conditions anymore. Where's your antenna at?
Well, my antenna dropped 10 feet after it got torn down by the tornado, so I'm awaiting a roof repair to get things back to normal.
Copy.
Well, the winds were high enough in my house that I have to get my roof replaced. Well, it's all the shingles. I had some shingle damage, but no roof damage. And it took my 1 1/4 EMT, which is the mast for that X700, and it bent it right over in half.
Wow. Any plans on putting it back up?
Oh yeah, no. As soon as the roof gets done, I'll get everything back in order.
Awesome. You're sounding good up here. I want to give you another number. Been averaging about 10 on mine.
Awesome, awesome. Well, as you know, we keep promoting it here locally with the system of reminders. So I'm glad you're in there, Steve. And you got a good signal in here tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm standing on my tippy toes.
Well, you're not on a handheld. You're using that I forget how many element beam. You're using the beam tonight?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, okay, very good. How many elements is that?
5 elements.
Oh, just think what you could do with one of those, like the one I have, but it's not in use right now because it's blown down, that 9-element M².
Well, it seems to be working for me. I'm trying to look at your screen here, see if I can see my signal at all. I just barely see it.
Yeah, you're doing about S2. It's bouncing between S1 and S3, but you're doing real fine, and it's good copy.
Appreciate the flowers. So I give you another number, 73.
Very good. That was Steve. Kilo 4 Whiskey Kilo Uniform, and he's in just a little bit north of Bowling Green, and he does those Simplex nets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Just telling me he was getting around 10 or 12 every net now, and he's doing better than I did at this point 5 years ago, or 5.5 years ago. So he's doing fine. By the way, it's at 7:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays on 146-430. 146-430. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30. He also gives people twice a week, 2 opportunities a week to miss the net. But he's doing fine. And also, just as an aside before we move on, I had some conversations. I've had several over the last year or so with people from other parts of the country who either see the web, see the website, or they see the YouTube site, and they've asked me questions about doing Simplex and what can they do to get better and that kind of stuff. And so I got this guy up in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. They got a couple of guys. They've been doing nightly repeater nets, and they want to move over and do it nightly Simplex nets. And so I'm going to get up with them this maybe a little later this week and get them rolling there, because they've got more flat land. I checked their terrain map today, and they've got a nice situation where it's mostly flat. It's got very few bumps in the road over a period of the whole county, and that's why they want to cover the whole county, so they should have an easy time of it. Anyway, any other check-ins before I move on to the 10-meter net? Nothing heard. So we had a grand total of 36 check-ins tonight, which is a respectable in anybody's book. And not that I was happy when there was 12 check-ins. I was happy when there was 6 check-ins. So it's not a question of numbers and whether I'm happy. People get a chance to get up on the air. And the real issue to me, and it always has, I put it on the, I don't know if anybody saw it. It was on the comment section. I said that repeaters were, what did I say? The repeaters are simply an excuse. I forgot what I wrote. Hold on. I don't know. Maybe it's not there. Didn't I put something in there? Repeaters are just. Oh, I know what it is. It's in the instructions. It's not on the notes. It's on the page. When you go to it, it says that repeaters are just an excuse to not get a better antenna. So anyway, let's move over to the 10-meter net. Is there any other late check-ins or any issues I need to know right now? I got nothing. All right, well, very good. We're closing out the 2-meter net at this point at 8:53, after 53 minutes after the hour. We're jumping over to 28.415 upper sideband, 28.415 upper sideband. We will see you there. Most of us are vertical, but we should be able to hear you even if you're horizontal. So we'll see you guys later, and we'll see you on 10 meters.
WE4EQ as well.
This is K4PEW to Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net on 28.415 upper sideband. Same deal. We'll be taking check-ins from the where was I? From the east first. Please come now.
KB4 RSM.
I think I heard KB4 RSM. Was that you in there, Wes, earlier?
Russ Glenn, KB4 RSM.
All right, wait a minute. Hold it. Glenn, I got you in there. Your foot. No, was it Wes? I'm sorry. There was a double in there. Was it Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India?
Right. Oh, wait, you're really good tonight on
Wow, because you're down in kind of almost in the mud, so it's kind of funny that we don't have a reciprocal arrangement here on the signal. Very good. And of course, we had Glenn, Kilo Bravo 4, Romeo Sierra Golf. No, Romeo Sierra Mike, correct? All right, very good. All right, great. Who else east? Please come in. KM4, that's Kilo Mike 4, Hotel Quebec Echo, of course, and that's Stan over in Lebanon. Who else east? Is there a station? Can I hear a station in there? No, I can't. Is anybody copying that? All right, up to the north then.
Whiskey Echo 4 Echo.
Very good. Got you in there, Danny. You're still you're on that vertical the old school SP whatever it is SPT 500.
Yeah, it's the predecessor to that. It's a high gain P500 penetrator, sort of. It's a late 1970s.
This one, I think this design is too, though. I think it's pretty old. Anyway, that's Danny and Echo. Who else? North. KB9BOQ. No, it's K9BOQ, correct? I almost had it wrong there. K9BOQ, right, Dennis?
W9BOQ.
I messed it up totally, man. I'm sorry about that. Shows I must be getting dementia here. Whiskey 9, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec. Yeah, I should know that better than that. Sorry about that, Dennis. It was Dennis in Castellian Springs. Whiskey 9, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec. Who else is north?
WB0NOO.
WB0NOO, and of course that's Mark up in North Wilson by the Weather Bureau. Who else is north?
KB9RKK.
KB9RKK. Good signal in there, Frank. Who else is north? All right, over to the west.
KM4Y.
4YRF, Michael in Belshire. Yeah, which I'm gonna have to ask you, where was Marty and Mary tonight? You're gonna have to go over and mess up their hair or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen them at all today, so they might be out.
Very good. Who else? Very good, Michael. That was Michael. Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot in Belshire. Who's next?
KG4ILD, Jack and Donaldson.
Hey, good signal there, Jack. You're doing fine. Look, I don't know if I asked you before. What antenna are you using there in Donaldson?
I got a 5/8 wave.
5/8 wave vertical. Whose make is it? Do you know? Do you remember?
The IMAX 2000.
Oh, the IMAX 2000. I got you. Yeah, very good. Who else is west and north? North or west?
November 4, Delta Juliet Tango.
Very good. Don and Bon Aqua, I got you in there good. Who else is west?
4 Alpha Whiskey Echo.
Yep, got you in there, John. John, are you using something different because it's or is just low tonight?
No, I'm just on the horizontal, the inset halfway.
Okay, that would explain a little bit of it. Obviously, I'm on vertical and you're not. Michael, how are you copying John in Bellevue?
I have a great copy on top.
Is there somebody else in there, Sal? All righty. I think we went around the compass. Do we have any other late check-ins? All righty. And one more chance on late check-ins before I close the net. Or I give a tally. Let's say that.
I'm hoping, you know what,
13.
No, 13. You're right. I'm not good at counting either these days. All right. Well, very good. We're closing the net. Appreciate everybody's participation. We get out of here in 1 hour and 1 minute. So you everybody have a good one. K4PEW. Closing the net.
W9BOQ, KM4YRF.
W9BOQ, hey Michael.
Hey, did you do something different with your antenna? Did you do something different with your antenna?
No, the same one I made.
All right, well, I can hear you better tonight than I did the last time we talked.